Hi, I'm M.E. Ellington, co-writer of The Harvesting, and both myself and Steve would like to thank you for taking the time to watch our table read. One point of note is that the actor that was due to play Addy suffered a technical problem just before the Zoom table read was about to record, and so I stepped in to play his part in both episodes 1 and 2. Please don't hold that against us. Grab your popcorn and we hope you enjoy it.
Interior shopping mall, main court, late afternoon. Crewman Davies, Tony, an athletic man, mid-20s, and Crewman Fields, a stout guy about 20, patrol the mall. Tony and Crewman Fields wear British Army tank crew uniforms, and each carries a bundle of supplies they've gathered from the shops.
I'm not sure it's worth being alive if there's no hot ass left to grab.
We met that goth girl Dr. Shaw knows. She's still alive.
The Virgin Coda.
Eugenie Swallow.
Crewman Fields takes a beat, contemptuous and terrified.
I wouldn't even fuck her with your dick.
Interior shopping mall, side alley, following. Crewman Fields and Tony turn a corner. A pack of reject dogs growls and rises, slobbering red glop. The dogs charge at full speed, too close for the men to shoot and kill them all.
Fucking run!
Crewman Fields and Tony turn tail and sprint. Tony, already in the lead, is much faster. The reject dogs catch Fields, dragging him to the tiled floor. His bundle of supplies spills onto the floor. Fields pulls out his sidearm, shoots one of the reject dogs. Another dog bites his arm, snapping it. The gun clatters across the tile. A reject German shepherd, wearing the frayed remains of a police harness, rips open Fields' throat. Insert. Blood sprays across the marble pearl white tile. Interior home furnishing store, moments later. Dr. Shaw, unrolls the chain gate just enough to allow Tony to slide under the still hauling his bundle. Dr. Shaw drops the gate and locks it. Dr. Shaw is mid-60s and dressed in what looks like safari gear, his constant wardrobe. He has a pensive vibe, frequently animated by moments of disconcerting glee.
A pack of reject dogs got Fields.
Come. Nothing to be done about that now.
He was my friend. We served together for almost 6 months.
It is yet another tragedy. You must recognise that Fields was a bit of a warthog.
What do you mean?
Dr. Shaw sorts through the cache of packaged cheese, cured meats, and crackers Tony has secured from the mall.
We'll have a cold dinner and you'll feel much better. Then we'll play some euchre.
What about Fields?
You never grasped the basics of this somewhat simple game.
End cold open. Credits begin. Act 1. Interior, John and Sam's kitchen, night. Reject Joanne lies on top of Kelly. Both are motionless. Reject Joanne begins to move, rolling off of Kelly. But Reject Joanne lies still with the top of the smashed wine bottles protruding from her neck. Her eyes are open, lifeless. Kelly, covered in Reject Joanne's reddish-orange blood, lies on the floor. She looks to John, gasping for air. Addie, Lisa, and Emma enter as John helps Kelly stand and then hugs her.
Kelly, what the hell happened?
Joanne attacked me. I woke in the garage yesterday after the birthday party. I went home to check on Patrick, but he was gone. So I came back here.
Lisa bends and checks Joanne's wrist, then her neck.
There's no pulse.
She did?
So far as I can tell about a reject,
John releases Kelly.
Where are Sam and Connor?
I don't know. I was looking for them, but then Joanne came for me. I had to protect myself. I had no choice.
I had to do the same to Lee after he became a reject.
Lee too. What's a reject?
Whatever happened to Joanne and Lee?
We don't really know. We've just learned that some people have become rejects.
Kelly, confused, moves away from John and looks to the others.
I'm Lisa, and this is Emma. We seem to be okay, but our families have gone missing.
Kelly greets Lisa and Emma.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
Don't know what to say or do.
What happened with Lee?
Addie tries to answer, but he gets too emotional to speak.
Daddy ran him over with my car to save us after Lee became a reject.
Similar to what you had to do with Joanne.
John, what the hell is going on?
Oh no. But we think it's happened everywhere.
Some people and animals have changed. They've become violent.
And most people seem to have gone missing.
POV, on Reject Joanne's body. She still wears the white dress, now a little dirty and disheveled with a splotch of red-orange blood at the throat.
Shouldn't we do something with her corpse?
I have a tarp in the garage.
Let's get her out of here.
John, Addie, Kelly, and Lisa each take a limb and carry Joanne's body toward the door that leads to the garage. As they're leaving, Emma sees the toppled camera. With great effort, the pregnant woman bends down. She notices a child's shoe under the table. She picks up the camera and the shoe. Emma looks pensively at the camera before setting it on the kitchen table. Interior, John and Sam's garage, following. With Joanne's body rolled in blue tarp, John and Addie work at tying lengths of rope around Reject Joanne's body.
When I went back to my flat, I didn't see anyone else. It's like they all just walked into the sea.
That's what Sam said about Scrapter Glass.
Maybe that's where I got it.
I've heard that name recently.
Addie and John finish tying the wrapped body. They place it on top of the horizontal meat cooler.
Everyone in Scrapter Glass disappeared before the Red Rain.
Oh, we heard that news story on our way to the inn. Tom said it sounded eerie and impossible.
Like they all drowned themselves with rocks in their pockets.
Today it'll have been almost 3 weeks since they went missing.
What?
Today is December 13th. We were all out for more than 2 weeks.
How is that possible?
It's no more easily understood than how so many others disappeared after November 25th.
Do you think it's connected?
I bet the tank commander we met would say that it was.
Kelly, Addie, and Lisa look between themselves. John leaves the garage. Interior, John and Sam's kitchen following. John enters and Emma indicates the camera and shoe she found.
Maybe the camera recorded something.
Addie, Lisa, and Kelly enter the kitchen. John approaches the table and picks up the camera.
That's Connor's shoe. He wore that pair on special occasions.
The camera still has its charge.
Addie grasps John's arm.
You sure you want to see what it's recorded?
John eases his arm away from Addie.
I need to know. Good or bad.
We all need to know.
I'm not sure I do.
John presses play. Insert birthday video. We see the children. The older ones sing, the younger ones squirm in their chairs.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Connor. Happy birthday to you.
The children scream excitedly. We see Kelly walk out of frame as Joanne delivers more ice cream. Kelly comes back into frame with 2 cups of wine. She hands one to Sam.
Thank you for keeping me sane.
Can we have my T-Rex now?
In a minute, sweetie.
The kitchen becomes dark, and we hear rain pummel the window. On John in the kitchen, his lip quivers as the video continues to play in the background. Addie places a muscular arm around John's shoulder. Birthday video continues to play.
We're going to need more wine, aren't we? I'll get it.
Kelly moves out of frame.
Here comes the rain again.
That looks unusual.
Joanne moves out of frame. One by one, the children doze off. After a few seconds, they're all asleep.
Sam!
Back to kitchen. Joanne looks to Kelly. Addie takes a deep breath. No one says anything. Birthday video. Nothing moves in the kitchen. Back to kitchen. John presses the fast forward button. Hours pass in seconds. On the screen, something moves in the blurred lines. John releases the button. Birthday video. The camera zooms in on Connor. Around him, we see moving shadows. Back to kitchen. Emma, Lisa, Addie, John, and Kelly crowd around the small viewing screen.
What the fuck?
Birthday video. All of the children except for Connor are gone. He's asleep at the kitchen table. A large red entity comes into frame. It grasps Connor, lifting him out of the chair. The red entity does not have the shape of a physical creature. Rather, its physical limitations are fluid, moving almost like a liquid flame. While its size remains consistent, the boundaries of its physicality shift. Off screen, those watching the video in the kitchen gasp in shock. As the red entity lifts Connor, the boy's foot gets stuck in the chair. The red entity lowers Connor slightly and then roughly pulls up on the sleeping boy. Connor's shoe falls to the floor. Back to kitchen. John looks to the shoe. He picks it up and holds it tightly, fights tears. Interior, mall, home furnishing store, early evening. Tony and Dr. Shaw sit at a high-end dining table playing euchre. A camping lamp provides the only source of light.
You were able to gather enough gastronomic supplies for a couple of weeks for the two of us, I'd say.
What time do you want to leave tomorrow, Dr. Shaw?
Dr. Shaw plays a card and sweeps in his trick.
We've not had contact from London for the past 2 days. I'm beginning to wonder what the benefit in going there is.
Tony looks to the military spec radio. Nothing.
I have orders, Dr. Shaw. I'm to get you to London. You have orders as well.
Dr. Shaw tosses a card onto the table.
Given by a senior cabinet member who's likely gone or dead. What can I do in London that I can't do anywhere else?
He thinks for a while and tosses out his card.
Still, orders are orders.
Only if they make sense. And there's a functioning government. Otherwise, it's nothing but words, said when such things mattered.
Dr. Shaw scoops in the trick.
That was a terrible play.
Head's not in the game.
Yeah, I know. You've skunked you 3 times. You're usually much sharper than this.
It's due to Fields. Knowing how he died is... it's terrible.
Dr. Shaw deals another hand.
I'm not sure I can play another.
Well, it's important that you try.
Why?
Because you lived and Fields died.
What does that have to do with a card game?
One's genes are beyond one's control, but the way you activate your DNA is within your grasp.
Tony picks up his cards.
What do you mean?
It's the difference between talent and ability. Why did Fields die? Why did you live?
Because I ran faster.
You'd say it was in your genes, but you also knew that danger was lurking. Something you'd learned.
Fields was built like a tank and could throw a punch that would knock your head clean off.
Tony tosses out a card and takes in a trick. Then he leads.
Look at me. I'm neither fast nor strong, yet I'm still alive.
But you're very smart.
Yeah. And cautious. Yet I know when to take the proper risks.
So if not London, then where?
Let's give London another day or so to respond. If they don't, then we'll head to the government compound that I have access to.
Where is that, Dr. Shaw?
Off the west coast of Scotland, Isle of Lewis.
How we get there with a truck?
I have other means at my disposal.
A terrifying growl and bark comes from outside the home furnishing store. Tony grabs his weapon and shoots. The reject German Shepherd, still in its police harness, drops dead outside the store. The 2 men barely react to the dog's death.
Huh. Well, then I believe you've won this game.
I was dealt good cards.
Regardless, the key is to play them to maximize your advantage.
Interior, John and Sam's bedroom, early morning. John wakes to the sound of general noises and voices downstairs. He opens a bedside drawer and pulls out a watch. It reads 8:35 a.m. He tosses the covers aside. Interior, John and Sam's kitchen moments later. John enters to find that Kelly and Lisa have cleared the mess from the party.
I hope you don't mind. We figured we'd clean up for you. I know how house-proud Sam was. Is.
That's fine. Thanks.
Addie enters the kitchen through the outside doorway.
Morning, boss. And how are you holding up?
As well as can be expected.
What do we do now? Is it okay to ask that?
POV, open window. A slip of reddish-orange air seeps through the window and begins to cross the kitchen. The amorphous red stream is about the size and shape of a garden hose. None in the kitchen notice the red stream. It differs considerably from the red entity that took Connor. It's a mist, or an embodied aura, and it has intent, snaking through the room.
Someone had to bring it up eventually.
I have some thoughts about what we should do next.
The kettle on the gas hobs whistles. Interior, Connor's bedroom, following. Emma sleeps in Connor's bed that has a T-Rex headboard, which looks hand-carved and painted, Sam's handiwork. The covers have shifted to expose Emma's belly, and she gently massages the baby as she continues to sleep. The red stream enters Connor's bedroom from under the door, begins to rise, approaching Emma's midsection. Interior, John and Sam's kitchen. Lisa pours tea and the others take a cup.
Maybe it's best if I speak with John privately.
Is it about leaving us to go and find your husband?
Yes?
I think we can hash this out with all of us present.
The vapor trail of the red stream disappears from the room.
It's better to be blunt.
I'm so sorry you had to see what happened to Connor, but I need to go home. I have to know just as badly as you did.
A tear runs down Lisa's face. She wipes it away, an annoyance.
What if we come with you?
What do you mean? You're home. You have your friends around you. I don't want to endanger you.
It's no safer here than anywhere else.
There's
Trust
nothing for
me.
me here. Sorry, there's nothing for me here. This isn't my home without my family.
After what we're seeing, we're better off together. Things could get a lot worse.
We also need to look for rescuers. There has to be help somewhere.
You're welcome to join me, but I want to leave this morning.
It's best if we all go with you.
The sooner the better.
Interior, Connor's bedroom, following. The red stream swirls around Emma's fetus. A lighter-colored limb splits away, moving towards Emma's nose and mouth. It begins to filter into her body, leaving a red mist that encircles Emma's belly. Interior, reddish room, dream state. A diaphanous red mist, more diffused than the red stream, swirls around Emma, who now stands in a netherworld.
Where am I?
Logan, a boy about 5, appears through the red haze. He's the boy that both Emma and John saw when they entered Emma's flat in the previous episode.
Mama, is that you?
Joseph?
No, Mama. It's Logan.
Logan stumbles through the swirling red mist. Emma sees a boy who looks very much like Joseph, but he's not Joseph.
Joseph, where are you?
It's only me, Mama. Joseph is gone.
Emma reaches down and touches her flat belly. She's no longer pregnant. Emma screams in terror. End Act 1. Act 2. Interior, John and Sam's kitchen, following. The others hear Emma scream.
Emma!
John sprints from the room. Addie follows. Interior, Connor's bedroom, following. Addie and John burst into the bedroom. Emma awakens. She sits up and rubs her full pregnant belly.
What about?
Joseph and another boy. And I thought I lost my new one.
It's only natural to have bad dreams after what we've been through.
Addie helps Emma stand.
Let's get you out of here.
I'm worried I can't go there.
You're not a bother.
We're all gonna go with Lisa to look for help.
Exterior, John and Sam's house, mid-morning. Lisa, Addie, and Kelly finish packing the Discovery. Emma sits in the back seat. They wait for John.
John, we're good to go.
Interior, John and Sam's kitchen. John picks up the shoe and the camera. He leaves, pulling the door closed behind him. Camera pans to a note on the refrigerator. Insert, Sam, I came back for you. Now going to search for you and Connor. Will update my whereabouts if I can. Love you both so much. Jay. Off screen, John shuts the door as the camera holds on the note. Interior, Discovery, late morning. John rides shotgun with Lisa driving. Kelly and Emma sit in the back seat. Addie's in the far back. Emma rubs her swollen belly.
Is everything okay?
They say every pregnancy is different.
I admire you. I'm terrified of being pregnant.
This baby is much bigger than Joseph at this stage.
When are you due?
In 3 months. I mean, on February 18th.
About 2 months from now.
The baby grew so much when I was out. During the red rain.
Lisa swerves around a car stalled in the roadway. Emma gasps in pain. Interior, home furnishing store, early afternoon. Dr. Shaw completes another attempt to contact the government on the military spec radio.
Well, that's that. I've made every effort to contact London.
Are they all gone?
Likely all those who would help us.
But others remain.
Yes. Yes, those who are complicit in this tragedy. A debacle I warned them about from the get-go.
What do you mean?
It's not in your interest to know at this point, but if I should die and you survive, then I want you to examine this record I wrote last night. It's in code.
How will I understand it?
I've written it as a game of euchre plays. Here's the code.
Dr. Shaw hands Tony a page of characters and figures with hearts, clubs, diamonds, and spades on it.
This means nothing to me.
You must compare it to the communications dossier I carry in my satchel to translate it. We'll leave for the Isle of Lewis first thing in the morning.
How will we get there?
We'll take a helicopter from Teesside, which is nearby. I have access, and it's much the reason we've been waiting here.
Tony takes a long beat to absorb this. He considers questioning Dr. Shaw, but lets it go.
Should I gather more supplies?
Now that would be ideal. As long as you don't get yourself killed. After all, you're the one who's going to be flying the helicopter.
Dr. Shaw pats Tony benignly on the shoulder. Startled, Tony looks up from the page of incomprehensible notes.
You know, I do count on you, my dear young man, for so many things.
Exterior, motorway, late afternoon. The Discovery weaves between car wrecks. Trucks, cars, and buses litter the carriageway. After a while, the Discovery stops at a turned-over semi-truck. It blocks all 3 lanes. The road shoulders on both sides rise through small hills. The motorway has been carved. Lisa bangs the steering wheel.
If you back up and make a run at it, you may be able to pass on the hillside.
I'm willing to give it a go. Thoughts and prayers?
Maybe we should let Kelly and Emma out for safety?
I'm not getting out of the car in this world.
I'll hold my baby and pray.
Exterior, motorway, following. Lisa steers the Discovery off the road. The vehicle begins to climb the steep grass and dirt bank. She engages the 4-wheel drive and turns the wheel. Halfway up, the Discovery's wheels begin to spin and the SUV begins to slide sideways. Interior, Discovery, continuous. Lisa fights the wheel.
No, 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 no.
Exterior, motorway, hillside, continuous. Lisa revs the Discovery's engine. The wheels spin clumps of loose dirt into the air as it slides down the embankment. The SUV hits the semi with force. A piece of the trailer comes loose and swings out. It smashes the grille of the Discovery, piercing the radiator. Steam erupts. Insert. The temperature gauge on the dash shoots up and warning lights flash.
Switch it off! You'll cook the engine.
Lisa shuts off the motor. John gets out of the passenger door to take a look.
What do we do now?
Stay in the vehicle or we walk?
We'll have to walk.
But it's not safe.
How far is Skipton?
About 5 miles. Too far to go before nightfall.
Then we'll need a place to shelter.
There's a shopping mall beyond the top of the bridge here.
No hotels?
Not till the other side of Skipton.
Exterior, near motorside, dusk. The group of 5 begins to walk up the incline toward the mall in the distance, wary of their surroundings. Behind them, steam continues to rise from the Discovery. Interior, home furnishing store, mid-afternoon. Dr. Shaw, alone, ambles about the store, inspecting the tchotchkes placed throughout. He grabs a few round red baubles from a bowl and rolls one toward the end of the table. It falls off the table onto the rug below and bounces.
Puzzling. Why would anyone purchase such an item?
The military spec radio begins to blare. Still holding a bauble, Dr. Shaw approaches the radio. He pauses a moment, then activates it.
Morgan, I haven't heard from you in days. It's been a nice reprieve.
That isn't the enthusiastic greeting I was expecting from one of my subordinates.
I'm not sure why you'd suggest that. You were superior to me in any way.
Have you looked in the mirror lately?
Dr. Shaw glances toward a dining room mirror inside the showroom, immediately looks away.
Surely you want something from me other than insipid banter.
Yes, you have the only set of keys to the yacht at Scrabs to Glass.
Sadly, I don't. They were lost in your extraterrestrial bargain. Now I'm headed back to London.
It's a wasteland, you fool.
A creation of your international cabal and naive negotiating skills.
I need the code and the keys to access Lewis. I command you to provide your location and remain in place until my contingent arrives.
I believe we're breaking up.
Dr. Shaw ends the call with Morgan, who remains a voiceless entity in this episode. He'll play a large role in episode 3. Dr. Shaw rolls the other red ball with a little more force. This time, it lands beyond the rug, shattering into bits. Exterior motorway, dusk. John, Lisa, Addie, Kelly, and Emma make their way to the mall. As the last of the day's fun fade, they see that the parking lot is half full of cars.
We can take a car tonight and get to your house.
Do you know how to hotwire a car or snap the steering lock?
Good point.
There's the Lexus dealership on the way to Skipton.
Well, they'd have the keys as well as the cars.
That's too far. Think of Emma.
I can make it.
Kelly's right. We'll find a safe place in the mall for the night.
And John and I will procure a car tomorrow from the dealership.
Exterior, shopping mall, a few minutes later. John, Lisa, Emma, Addie, and Kelly approach the mall doors.
I think it's best if only 1 or 2 of us go inside, just in case.
Interior, shopping mall, following. John and Kelly enter the mall. They make their way slowly. Ahead, they hear a sound from within the darkness.
What's that?
Sounds like a dog.
A reject beagle charges at John and Kelly. Before they can run, a shot drops the dog in its tracks. Kelly and John turn toward the exit.
Halt! Who are you?
John and Kelly turn toward Tony as he emerges from the shadows, pointing his gun at them.
People who don't want trouble.
As Tony moves closer, Kelly and John see his army uniform. The bundle across his back is full of supplies from the mall.
Your army.
What of it?
We're survivors looking for a safe place to stay for the night.
Tony lowers his gun slowly.
Better come with me. It's dangerous in the open.
3 others are outside. 1 pregnant.
Tony sighs. Interior, home furnishing store a few minutes later. Dr. Shaw drops the wire gate after the group enters. Tony deposits his cache of supplies on the table.
Doc, I found these wandering the promenade.
Very good. Very good. I am Dr. Philip Shaw, a geneticist who works with the British government. More or less.
Yeah, well, we'd like to know what the hell has happened.
I may be able to answer some of your questions. But now we have quality food. Let's have a cold dinner.
The group of survivors looks to one another, deeply puzzled by Dr. Shaw's cavalier attitude. Interior, home furnishing store, dining set, evening. The group sits at the same expensive dining room set up with fake walls. They finish their cold dinner of packaged meats, cheeses, and pickled vegetables.
Well, that was satisfying as far as these things go, I suppose. We've been on army rations for far too long. Deplorable.
Can you please tell us what the hell is going on?
Dr. Shaw leans back in his chair, looking at the group.
I have limits to what I can share, as I'm sure you understand much of the information is still classified.
Still appreciate anything that you can tell us.
Okay. I believe, as do many Cobra members that I was in contact with until recently, that we've been attacked.
By whom?
Perhaps an alien species, or perhaps one of our own creation.
I'm not much for conspiracy theories, but I've seen some things that make either seem possible.
The species has been very patient.
All go silent for a beat.
How long have you known about them?
Well, that's a difficult question. Forever? Or just recently?
I'm sorry, what do you mean?
The scientific method demands that you provide proof. You can never assert your beliefs as fact.
But you have always believed.
Oh, yes. Yes, my dear, but I've only recently seen what I would call proof.
How did you become convinced?
As a geneticist, I saw anomalies in the DNA coding of some species. Only recently did I begin to see these glitches in human beings.
And what does that have to do with where people have gone and the reject humans and reject dogs?
Ah, you're familiar with the term. I coined it, you know, reject. Perhaps this is due to some failure in their master plan.
What do you mean?
Because, well, they're a superior species. But that doesn't mean that they're infallible, of course.
John places the camera on the table.
My son was taken. What do you make of this recording?
Dr. Shaw's fingers twitch in anticipation. Exterior, Scrabster Glass, night. A 5-year-old boy, Logan, wanders along the beach at the edge of the sea. He's the same boy that John and Emma saw in her flat, and the one she saw in her nightmare. Impose on screen, Scrabster Glass, November 23rd.
Mama? Papa? It's me, Logan!
Logan begins to cry. He falls onto the sand, curling into a ball wrapped in his heavy winter coat. A red stream descends, making its way towards Logan, darting and weaving with the cold wind. Eventually, a red mist settles above Logan, tendrils seeping into his nostrils and mouth as he sleeps. Interior, home furnishing store, evening, following. Dr. Shaw sets down the camera that John handed him.
Well, I am very sorry for your loss. But, I don't know what to say.
Tell us what you fucking know. I'm sorry. It's about my family.
Well, yours is a very human reaction. I'd say that humankind has suffered 3 different outcomes One group was taken. The second, all of us here, remains, and well, the third was rejected.
2 of our friends were rejected.
Now, my supposition is that those people were overexposed to the red rain. It seems that it made them spoilage.
What do you mean?
Insulting thing to say about our friends and family.
It's not my thought. I'm only trying to explain how those things came to perceive us and how we came to perceive those things.
And what does London know about this?
Some knew far more than they were willing to share with me.
What are they doing about it now?
Not much is my fear. We can't contact them. And that's precisely why we're holed up here.
Is there anyone in charge anywhere?
Well, nobody that would be of any help.
What do you mean?
We were headed to London. But I see no point. Whitehall, Cobra, aren't responsive. They're most likely gone.
And your plan?
Well, tomorrow, Crewman Davis and I will fly off to a government compound off the coast of Scotland.
You have to try and fix this.
Sadly, the best each and any one of us can do is to try to survive.
What about the rest of us? I don't have access to a compound and an island. What about my baby?
Dr. Shaw pauses for a moment.
Up to 3 of you are welcome to join Crewman Davis, Tony and me. There is some safety in numbers.
I only 3.
Because that's all a helicopter can carry, safely.
John, Lisa, Addie, Kelly, and Emma look between themselves.
Tomorrow, Tony will drive us up to Teesside Airport and fly to the compound. However, you all have to choose amongst yourselves who will go and who will remain.
Dr. Shaw flashes a peculiar gleam at them.
Well, I'd say I've given you lot enough to think about. Perhaps we should bed down for the night?
Interior, home furnishing store, bedroom display, night. John and Addie lie on a king-sized bed. Emma and Lisa lie on another, with Kelly taking a small bed to herself. Across the display area, Dr. Shaw has already begun to snore.
If you get cold during the night, there are extra blankets in the storage room. Do not open any doors during the night.
Tony heads to the lounger at the front of the store to keep guard while the others sleep. Interior, home furnishing store, bedroom display, night. Dr. Shaw continues to snore loudly. Kelly, half asleep, wrestles with her blanket, shifting in the bed. Interior, mall, main corridor, night. A red stream enters the mall. It passes a pack of sleeping reject dogs who stir and moan but do not seem to see it. Interior, home furnishing store, lounge chair area, night. Tony sleeps on a recliner near the store's entry. The muzzle of his assault rifle pokes out of his blanket. The red stream slips through a gap in the gate, passing Tony. Interior, home furnishing store, bedroom display, night. The red stream passes the bed where John and Addie sleep. It rises toward Emma and Lisa, but courses over them, before forming a red mist that enters Kelly's nose as she sleeps. Interior, home furnishing store, front of store, night, later. 5 reject men approach the front of the store. Each has a set of bolt cutters. One of the reject men cuts a piece of the thick chain gate. Tony twitches in his sleep when he hears the snap of metal. A few reject men approach and begin to cut the links of the gate that seals the store. Tony springs awake, grabbing his gun. He fires at the reject men using bolt cutters. Bullets find their targets, but a few zing off the metal gate. One ricochets into a vase, shattering it. Interior, home furnishing store, bedroom display. John and Addie awaken from the sounds at the store's entry.
What was that?
Emma, Lisa, and Kelly also rise. Interior, home furnishing store, front entry. Another set of reject people, some women, approach and pick up the bolt cutters from their dead compatriots.
Get up. We gotta get out of here.
Some rejects seem confused. Others are more purposeful. Tony shoots some of the new posse, but others keep coming. End of Act 2. Act 3. Interior, home furnishing store, dawn. John, Addie, Emma, Lisa, and Kelly rush to the back of the store. They carry what they can.
There, through those doors. The truck is in the loading bay.
Interior, loading bay, following. Dr. Shaw raises the outer door and the first glimmer of morning light enters the loading bay. The group piles into the loaded back of the truck with their bags. The truck is filled with supplies, including the food and blankets Tony procured from the mall. From within the truck, Addie lowers and locks the truck's gate. Interior, home furnishing store, front gate, following. Reject humans cut more cables. They begin to slide through, bleeding red-orange as they obliviously slice themselves on the sharp metal. Tony shoots another round, killing those who enter first, creating a pile of bodies at the front of the store. He grabs his gear and runs toward the loading bay. Interior, loading bay, following. Dr. Shaw, in the driver's seat, opens the window between the cab and the back of the truck.
I'm not much of a driver. I like to think I'll do in a pinch.
Tony slides into the passenger seat.
Go, they're on our heels.
Dr. Shaw can't get the truck into gear.
It's a manual. Which pedals does one depress?
Push in the clutch and shift to first. Let up on the brake.
No need to shout. No need to shout. It's quite logical when you think about it.
Reject dogs reach the truck, leaping and chewing at the metal. Some begin to jump at the side windows. Dr. Shaw gets the truck in gear as reject humans approach. The truck jerks out of the bay, engine revving in first gear. Exterior, loading bay, outside mall, following. Reject humans run after the truck. They throw their bolt cutters at the back of the truck as it begins to accelerate. Interior, back of truck. The survivors hear the objects hit the back of the truck.
I'm going to be eaten?
Lisa wraps her arm around Emma, holding on to her so she won't fall as the truck accelerates around the corner.
Not yet, my dear. As tasty as you may be.
Interior, home furnishing store, outside the destroyed gate. Reject dogs devour the dead reject humans, and reject dogs piled outside the store's gate, dragging the bodies inside. Insert. Reddish-orange blood splatters across the dining room table where the survivors had their cold dinner. Reject dogs climb onto the furniture, one pissing reddish-orange urine. Interior, back of truck. Lisa turns Emma over to Kelly before standing at the small window between the back of the truck and the cab. She stabilizes herself with a handlebar attached to the truck.
Where are you headed?
Someplace safe, and Tony can take over the driving.
Pull into the Lexus dealership. It's only a mile down the road.
We'll stop there and make some important decisions.
So long as it's safe.
Exterior, auto mall, early morning. Dr. Shaw drives the truck into the lot of the Lexus dealership. No reject humans or reject dogs are present. Exterior, auto mall, near showroom. Tony exits the truck, providing cover as Addie opens the truck's back door. The others exit, but Emma stays inside.
Looks safe to me for now.
Is it true that the helicopter can only handle 3 of us?
I'd say it could take 4, but we have limited range and added weight burns fuel. We can't land safely before we reach Lewis. And we need as many supplies as possible.
Then we have a decision to make.
That's not difficult for me. I'm going home to look for Tom.
Emma should be in the helicopter.
She'll also need support, and I can't go with you, so that means you should go as well, Kelly.
You want me to go with the Colonius elephant hunter?
Kelly POV. Dr. Shaw has stepped out of the driver's seat, scanning the horizon with his binoculars. In his khakis, he does look like a colonialist elephant hunter.
He is a bit of an odd job.
I'll go with Lisa.
Which leaves me up in the air.
You need to go with Emma and Kelly.
It feels cowardly.
We don't know which is safer. It's important each group has a man.
You can spare me your male heroics.
I'm saying that so Addie doesn't feel like a wimp.
Oh, fuck you. I'll go with the elephant hunter. Go ahead and chase your ghosts up and down the island.
Addie walks off in a huff.
Well, that's settled then.
Tony, we've made our decision, so long as we can procure a vehicle.
Likely be some keys that'll operate the vehicles inside.
Tony raises his gun and shoots out the store window. Glass cascades.
Easy, lad. We don't know where there are any additional bullets in this world.
Lisa steps through the dealership window, looking up to make sure no broken glass falls on her. John follows. Interior, back of truck, following. Emma grasps her abdomen as she feels a deep contraction.
Oh dear. Oh, holy Jesus.
Wincing in pain, Emma reaches for the cross at her neck. She exhales a wisp of red-tinged air, but doesn't notice. Exterior, auto mall, several minutes later. John and Lisa pull up near the truck in a bright orange Lexus SUV with John in the driver's seat.
Good job you've gone for subtlety.
The one with the most petrol.
And it's a hybrid.
Dr. Shaw extricates a set of keys from his khaki pants and hands them to John through the open window.
There we go. These go to a motor yacht docked on the northeast coast of Scotland. It's the best way for you to reach the Isle of Lewis, should you choose to join us.
Where on the coast of Scotland?
About an hour north of Aberdeen. Here are the coordinates.
How far is to Lewis by yacht?
About 5 hours, give or take. It depends on how rough the sea is, really.
Dr. Shaw hands a piece of paper to John.
Is this near Scrapture Glass?
Well, yes, that was a place of much interest early on.
Perhaps the glass has come to our attention as well.
I don't believe everything you've heard. You'll have more success reaching Lewis by yacht over than any other way.
What if we don't make it?
It's not a problem. I've another set of keys at the compound. Well, it would be excellent if you could bring around the yacht.
Tony pulls out his holstered sidearm and hands it to John.
This may give you some protection.
Thanks.
You know how to use it?
More or less.
John takes the weapon. Addie reaches into the vehicle and gives John a hug.
Please don't shoot yourself accidentally.
Exterior, highway, a few minutes later. The home furnishing truck moves along the speedway, steering around wreckage. It's a different road than the one the survivors used to get to the mall. Interior, truck. Back near window. Tony drives. Dr. Shaw talks through the window to Addie, Kelly, and Emma in the back.
The heliport at Teesside is only about 10 miles or so up the road.
How long is the flight to the Isle of Lewis?
Less than 3 hours if all goes according to plan. We should arrive just shortly before nightfall.
Emma tries to stand. She vomits on the bed of the truck floor, a strange mixture of food and reddish-orange fluid.
Unless something slows us, of course.
Kelly and Addie rise to comfort Emma as she begins to sob.
It feels like I'm about to give birth to something awful. I'm not due for 2 months.
Now. We never know when our bundles of joy will arrive.
Dr. Shaw slides the divider closed, turning away from the window and those in the back of the truck.
Bundles. Plural?
Addie looks to Kelly, taking note. Interior, Lexus, a little while later. John and Lisa ride in silence. Then they both speak at once.
I really hope Thomas.
What are your thoughts about Dr. Shaw?
Sorry, you go.
No, you first.
It feels like a fool's errand for me to come home to search for Tom. But I also don't trust Dr. Shaw.
Doesn't Dr. Shaw seem somehow pleased about what has happened?
Yeah, he's as mad as a box of frogs.
Well, despite that, I think the others are safer with him than with us.
Based on the attacks we've seen, it's hard to disagree.
But I'm worried about my friends.
Dr. Shaw has more knowledge than we do about what's happened.
Is that a good thing?
Lisa looks to John, begins to answer, changes her mind.
Turn left. Third driveway on the right.
Exterior, Lisa's house, noon. John stares the orange Lexus into Lisa's driveway. Her home is large and impressive. Exterior, Teesside Airport, helicopter hangar, early afternoon. Tony parks the truck near the hangar. He exits the vehicle and opens the hangar doors. The others wait in the truck. Interior, Teesside Airport, helicopter hangar, a bit later. Tony has parked the truck close to the helicopter and opened the hangar roof. He knocks, and Addie raises the truck's gate. Dr. Shaw climbs out of the passenger cab. Addie and Kelly help Emma. Her belly is enormous, and her face has grown pale.
I'm going to.
Emma spews a massive glop of red vomit onto the cement. Interior, Lisa's foyer. John and Lisa enter her home.
Make yourselves at home. I like to look around alone.
Yeah, but what if?
I'll scream bloody murder and hope you'll come running. I really hope you know how to use a gun.
John pulls the gun from the holster, looks at it. Interior, helicopter, hangar. Emma, Dr. Shaw, and Kelly wait in the helicopter. Kelly comforts Emma, who inhales and exhales deeply. Emma holds an empty but open vomit bag. Interior, back of truck, hangar, following. Tony and Addie grab the last load of supplies.
Before we go, I need to ask what you think of Dr. Shaw.
What do you mean?
Is he insane?
Tony looks to Addie, who looks away.
I'm military. I don't have opinions. I have orders.
But you can trust me. I know you have something to say.
Tony bends down and lifts the last pallet. He nods at Addie to take the other side.
Do you know how to play euchre?
What does that have to do with anything?
I'll teach you after we land. That's all I can say at this time.
Interior, Lisa's house, hallway. Lisa walks down the hallway.
Tom, are you here?
Lisa makes her way to the staircase. Exterior, Teesside Airport, helicopter hangar, midday. The small chopper rises out of the hangar. Interior, Lisa's house, upstairs master bedroom window. A red stream enters under the closed window. Lisa walks into the room. The red stream curls around her abdomen. Lisa caresses her belly, dispersing the red mist. Interior, Lisa's house, baby room, following. Lisa enters this room, decorated in a gender-neutral way for Lisa's baby. The red stream follows her. A young girl, Lee, about 3, looks up when she hears Lisa.
Mommy, where have you been?
Lisa gasps.
Thomas!
Where's Daddy?
Lisa rushes from the room. Interior, helicopter, mid-afternoon. Tony flies the helicopter.
I do feel much safer in the air,
Visibility is poor.
but at least we're away from the rejects.
I have no tower communication.
Well, there's the coast of Scotland.
Helicopter POV, a vague outline of the hazy coast.
How far to Lewis from here?
I've no idea, aeronautically.
Visibility is poor. I need to know so I don't crash.
Well, now it seems you're just trying to worry me unnecessarily.
Interior, Lisa's kitchen, mid-afternoon. John enters and begins to make tea. When he turns back to the kitchen table, he sees Logan.
Daddy, I hate tea. It's too hot.
Who are you?
I'm Logan, Daddy.
Lisa comes into the kitchen. She's shaking. John gasps, startled by her entrance. Logan is gone.
Let's leave. Tom hasn't been here since I saw him in Scotland.
How do you know?
Nothing's been moved. Our bed is untouched.
Do you want to go early tomorrow?
No, now. Something isn't right. I've seen and felt things.
What things?
I can't say. I don't believe in that sort of nonsense.
Where do you want to go?
North, to Dr. Shaw's motor yacht.
John has never seen Lisa so rattled. He hands her a cup of tea, which she takes but only holds, never taking a sip.
I'll leave the details for Tom, and we'll go. But I need to stop and update the note I left for Sam. And it's on our way to the yacht.
Interior, helicopter, late afternoon. Emma fights the pain of her most recent contraction, beginning Lama's breathing, gasping between words.
Dear Lord, protect me and my baby.
Emma's hand brushes the cross at her neck.
Emma, are you okay?
I hope so.
Fluid spills from Emma's body onto the floor of the helicopter. It's tainted red, but not from blood. Emma's eyes roll into her head and she passes out. Her empty vomit bag lands into the puddle. End of Act 3. Act 4. Interior, orange Lexus SUV, late afternoon. John and Lisa head north, with John driving the Lexus SUV as the sun begins to set.
How long to your place? I've lost track of where we are.
Only another 10 minutes or so.
Do you really think aliens came down and nabbed everyone? I mean, those who are gone?
It seems far-fetched. But you saw that video. I can't explain it. Who knows why some were taken and others are still here?
Lisa goes quiet, pretends to look at the countryside.
I'd like to think it's about Tom, but I think it's about me.
What do you mean?
I'm pregnant too.
Well, what's that have to do with anything?
I don't know, but I got a sense early on. And after meeting Dr. Shaw.
John, who hasn't been paying attention to the road, swerves suddenly to miss a dead woman reject in his lane. Lisa gasps. She reaches for her belly.
Well, that wasn't there yesterday.
Interior, helicopter, near the Isle of Lewis, dusk. Tony lowers the helicopter, trying to get below the thick cloud cover.
What's the elevation of the compound?
I don't know, perhaps 300 meters? It's on a plateau above a rise or something.
Is there anything higher between us and the helipad?
I couldn't say. I'm not really one for sightseeing.
I have no direct vision, only this altimeter.
And you wouldn't want to hit an outcropping while you're lowering now, would you?
Precisely.
Interior, back of helicopter, following. Even as the helicopter sways, Addie and Kelly unleash themselves from their seats to assist Emma. Emma revives.
Are you giving birth?
No, it's not my fluid that broke. There was something else.
How do you know?
I just do. I've had a child. I know the feeling. This is different.
Interior, John and Sam's kitchen, dusk. John and Lisa enter through the broken kitchen door. John waves his gun in front of him.
I'm already jumpy. I'm not sure you with a gun makes me feel any safer.
Do you want to hold it?
No, that would make me feel far less safe.
When it comes to guns, you need an American.
They know how to shoot everything in their path, don't they?
Thoughts and prayers.
Exterior, helicopter, dusk, a few minutes later. Tony brings the helicopter lower, checking the coordinates. As the helicopter drifts below the clouds, Tony sees that the helicopter is headed directly at an outcropping. He raises the helicopter, nearly clipping the rocks. Interior, helicopter, continuous. Kelly and Addie gasp in fear. Emma lies on the cramped floor between the seats. She barely fits.
Ah, yes. That's the cliff near the compound.
These are things it's helpful to know in advance.
I'm going to say, my memory isn't what it used to be.
Tony works to steady the chopper.
Only about 500 meters to the helipad, I'd say. Oh, and there's a security fence you'll want to clear. It's fairly tall and well, it's somewhat solid.
Interior, John and Sam's kitchen, dusk. John returns to the kitchen. Lisa sits at the table, eating a bag of crisps left over from the birthday party. John updates the note on the refrigerator. He reaches for the open but corked bottle on the counter.
Everything okay?
Yeah. No sign of Sam and Connor. No surprise. Also no sign of anyone or anything else in the place.
I'm gonna have a bit. I've read the research. A pregnant lady can have a small drink. What's the point of having a baby if you didn't want one in the first place, but your husband did?
John looks to Lisa, who looks away. He pours a glass of wine for each of them. Lisa licks the salt off her fingers.
I'm sorry about Tom.
It's what we expected, isn't it?
John hands a light pour of wine to Lisa.
Do you think we should spend the night here?
Yeah. I'm exhausted and starving. I feel as though the baby is sucking every last ounce of energy from me.
Lisa looks at the empty crisp bag on the table.
Well, soon enough, we'll figure out how to cook again.
Until then, down the hatch.
John and Lisa toast. She drains her glass. He takes a sip.
Oh God, this is terrible.
I've lost my normal taste too to the baby. Soon I'll be craving laundry detergent and toadstools.
I think there's more wine in the garage. I'll get some.
I don't need more.
I'd say that I do.
Exterior, the Isle of Lewis. Helicopter. Evening. The chopper approaches the helipad inside the military fencing that surrounds the government compound. The structure sits on a substantial plot of land with the helipad on the highest flat ground. All of the property lights are on, nearly as bright as daylight. The chopper dips below the clouds, creating a weird fluorescent light effect. The property is surrounded by a high metal fence with gates. The driveway leads to an underground garage beneath the visible part of the living quarters. The back side of the property abuts a steep cliff above the small beach below. Interior, helicopter, following. Tony brings the helicopter above the pad and slowly lowers the aircraft.
Ah, compound. Sweet compound.
Exterior, helicopter, following. Dr. Shaw exits the helicopter. Addie and Kelly assist Emma, who doubles over. The main rotors of the helicopter come to a stop. Tony shoulders his assault rifle.
Get inside as quickly as possible.
What about the supplies?
Take what you can. We'll get the rest in the morning.
Exterior, government compound, doorway. Dr. Shaw keys the code into a wall-mounted pad, and the entryway illuminates. The lock clicks open, and Dr. Shaw turns the handle. Interior, government compound, entryway. Dr. Shaw leads the way inside. The room is barely lit. Shadows, candles, and dim lights flicker. As Addie and Kelly assist Emma through the entryway, Tony is the last to enter, backing in with his gun pointed outdoors. Kelly looks into the interior shadows and sees a figure.
Holy shit!
An elderly female dressed in black stands facing them from deep within the shadows, the whites of her eyes visible. Mrs. Danvers is likely in her 60s, but well kept despite her ghoulish appearance. Dr. Shaw jumps when he hears Kelly.
Oh, that's Mrs. Danvers. She runs the day-to-day of this place.
Emma moans as Addie and Kelly lower her onto the bench just outside. Tony seals the door and lowers his weapon.
It is good that you have returned safely, Dr. Shaw.
Mrs. Danvers, I'd like you to meet 3 civilian guests of the British government.
Mrs. Danvers examines the motley crew, only now beginning to edge into the light.
Good evening. It is a gravid group.
It's your early days of midwifery will be of use, Danny.
It is not lost on me that this has been the likely scenario since we learned of the change.
Dr. Shaw chuckles.
Well, let's not get onto that now. The important thing is to take good care of dear Emma.
Her baby will not come tonight, nor likely tomorrow.
I'm not due for 2 months.
Is it possible her water broke?
Red tinged fluid from Emma drips onto the white flooring.
The amniotic sac is still intact.
Then what the hell is that fluid?
I believe it's the shedding of an outer sloth.
Well then, let's get Emma into bed, provide her with hot tea and biscuits and whatever else she wants.
I cannot do that and prepare dinner.
We'll see to Emma first. The rest of us will wait for a late dinner.
I'm going to go with Emma now.
I'll bring you dinner when it's ready.
It won't be for some time.
I'm perfectly capable of cooking in your absence, with the proper ingredients and hobs working.
Now, nobody is allowed to prepare cooked food other than Mrs. Danvers.
Interior, John and Sam's garage, night. John holds a flashlight in his mouth as he digs through a pile of beverage boxes searching for a bottle of wine. He finally finds one and sets the flashlight aside.
I guess Sam drank a lot more than I knew when I was out on the rig.
John turns to the large horizontal refrigerator. Something looks different. Insert the shot of Joanne's body from the previous episode wrapped in a blue tarp, laying on top of the refrigerator. Back to scene, John looks around, begins to breathe heavily.
Lisa!
Interior, government compound, lift, a few minutes later. Emma, Kelly, and Mrs. Danvers descend to the bedrooms. Kelly supports Emma, who is a bit hunched over. Mrs. Danvers stands stoically aside. Interior, Emma's room, following. The room contains only a twin bed and a desk.
Do you have a room that will accommodate both of us?
No. Each guest stays in their own room at the Mandalay compound. It's a government requirement.
Can I have a room close by?
Of course.
Mrs. Danvers hands Kelly a key, indicating that it's to the one across the hall.
Now I must go prepare dinner.
Interior, compound hallway, a few minutes later. Kelly drags the twin mattress from her room into Emma's. She's moved the desk in Emma's room into the hallway.
What if they complain? What if they ask us to leave?
If they're that crazy, then we're likely better off on our own, don't you think?
Kelly drops the mattress next to Emma's bed, which sits atop box springs. Kelly's mattress is considerably lower.
What do you mean?
I'm not a rules follower when the rules make no sense.
How has that worked out for you?
Not very well.
I'm a rules follower.
And how's that worked out for you?
Not very well.
You need someone nearby tonight.
Kelly rises to give Emma's forehead a kiss, but then her own body cramps. She grasps her abdomen.
Oh! Oh! That really hurt.
What?
I don't know.
Interior, John and Sam's kitchen, following. While John is still in the garage, Lisa hears a clunking coming down the steps from the attic.
John?
Lisa rises from the kitchen table. Reject Joanne appears in the kitchen doorway, her jaw snapping and her body still tangled in the blue tarp. Lisa rushes to the door to the garage. Reject Joanne follows slowly, still a bit dazed from her previous injuries.
John, that reject bitch has come back to life.
Exterior driveway. Lisa runs out the door.
Let's go.
John, befuddled for a second, finally grasps what's going on when Reject Joanne appears at the kitchen door. He jumps behind the wheel of the Lexus. John tears out of the driveway. Reject Joanne snarls, her jaw snapping as she chases the vehicle. Interior, orange Lexus SUV, night. John looks to Lisa to make sure she's okay.
I thought she was dead. I checked her pulse.
Something more is going on than what Dr. Shaw told us.
Should we go to the Isle of Lewis?
I can't think of a better option.
Neither can I.
Exterior, Scrabster Glass, beach, night. Logan rises and turns away from the fogged-over sea. Now he's 6, older than we've seen before. How did this happen?
Mommy? Daddy? Where are you?
A red stream comes off the ocean, headed towards Logan. A red mist separates. It reaches Logan and filters into his nose. The young boy strips off his winter coat, and he starts jumping up and down with glee.
You're coming to get me!
Interior, John and Sam's kitchen, night. Reject Joanne rips the note from the refrigerator. She turns it every which way, trying to make sense of it. Cannot. Exterior, spacecraft, above Earth, night. A long shot shows a flow of flaming red oil as it rises from the rig where John and Addie worked in the North Sea. It's a spew of red against the night sky as it reaches the black orb that's only partially visible against the moon. A red stream, much lighter and gaseous, filters from the orb, descending to Earth in a targeted way. Exterior, John and Sam's driveway. Reject Joanne snarls. The blue tarp wraps around her neck like a cape, cinched by a rope. A small wisp of red mist reaches her, filtering into her nostrils. She looks down at the page, perhaps finally able to make sense of the scribbles on the page. Insert note. Sam. Heading to the Isle of Lewis at a government compound. Contact me at frequency at dusk. I'll be listening every night. Love, Jay. Back to scene. Reject Joanne eats the note. Then she heads into the night in pursuit of John and Lisa. Now she knows where they're going. Credits roll. End of episode 2.